Yo, what's up everybody? It's Ansel again and welcome back. Today we'll be doing a very quick review of the Gem80 by Newfie, a fun budget TKL that I think quite a few of you are going to be really interested in. Now this is definitely on the edge of what is considered budget, but I think because before taxes and shipping it's still sub 200 technically, I'm going to give it a little bit of liberty here. So anyways, let's get right into the review, and starting off, let's go with the aesthetics. Right off the bat, I think this board looks really good. It's super cute, lots of rounded edges. I love the contrast between the aluminum top and the PC bottom. That purple finish is almost flawless. It's really smooth, and Newfie really knows what they're doing. The included keycaps in the bundle are also really nice. I really like how they look. They match the keyboard perfectly fine, and each of the colorways that this keyboard comes in comes with a beautiful matching keycap set no matter what color you choose, so don't even worry about that. You could get your own aftermarket keycaps, which I think could be nice, but I think the included keycaps are just really good looking to begin with. I also really like the internal weight. It adds a little bit of flair and makes the bottom a little more interesting. Overall, the design aesthetic reminds me a lot of Hebe's boards, which is kind of a huge compliment, although I will say it's not quite as cohesive or as, I guess, well put together as a Hebe board. But again, the Hebe board is much more expensive and is not budget at all by any means. The Gem80, while it does have that little gem logo badge in the corner, I can forgive it for that much. Yes, it's not my favorite, but I think that's definitely a preference thing. Some people might like it. Me personally, I don't. I think it detracts a little bit away from the overall aesthetic, but otherwise this board is beautiful, gorgeous, especially with the included keycaps. I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed in that department. However, I will say one big flaw is that the screws are not tapped. It's just bare plastic. Now, if you're careful, honestly, it's fine, but if you're the type of person to build and rebuild your keyboard often, this is gonna be a bit of a downside. You're definitely gonna have to be a lot more careful. That being said, this is an issue that can be easily fixed, and I think Newfie can definitely fix this within the next couple revisions of this board. Now, moving on to typing feel, I think there's not a whole lot to say. It's pretty bouncy, pretty flexible. I mean, it has a ton of flex cuts. Totally wish we could have gone with a plain old non-flex cut PCB, but I think this is just much more targeted towards beginners and people that want that kind of typing feel. If you want something stiff, definitely add the foams and get a stiffer plate, but overall, it's still gonna be a relatively bouncy and flexible keyboard no matter what you do. It's pretty nice in my opinion, but again, if you want something stiff, this isn't quite the way to go. And finally, let's talk sound. I think this thing sounds pretty good. It's definitely more unique, and with the foams, it does sound pretty good. But overall, if you remove all the foams, save for the silicone weight at the bottom, I think you should definitely keep that in. It sounds pretty good. It's a bit deeper pitched. It's not very lively. It's definitely a bit dull and a little flat. Yes, you could go for a PC board, and even though this is technically half PC, you're just not gonna get quite that kind of sound out of any other keyboard within this price range. Yeah, maybe the Omni-type Bauer Lite, but again, that's full PC, and I don't know if the build quality is up to snuff compared to this one. I haven't had my hands on it, although I'm sure it's a great board. That being said, again, the sound is very good. Not as lively as some other keyboards, but at the same time, I don't think you're gonna get this kind of sound out of a different keyboard, even in upper prices. It's pretty deep considering the recent trend in keyboards going towards like clacky or higher pitched, something more lively and bright. This is not a downside. I actually quite like how it sounds, and I think a lot of people are gonna be happy with this, especially beginners who aim to have a more deep sound. And if you want something super deep, go for more foams. But if you don't like foams, or you just want to take them all out and you want to go for a more bouncy typing experience or whatever, totally fine that way. I actually like how it sounds regardless. So finally, let's talk value. This is a really good value board, I think, considering that you can get the keycaps, the switches, and the board all for under 200. Well, barely 200, but technically it's still under 200. I do think that the value comes with it as a bundle and not as the bare bones kit. The bare bones kit is just a little too expensive for what it is, but I think if you get the whole kit with the keycaps, the switches, and the keyboard, it's a full sweep. Great value in my opinion. That being said, the switches aren't the best. Even though they're not the most evenly lubed, they feel relatively smooth. But if this is your first keyboard, you're not even gonna notice in my opinion. It's gonna feel perfectly fine. And that's kind of all I have for the video, guys. I really hope that some of you get something from this. I think it's still a very interesting keyboard. Definitely not my kind of keyboard, but I can definitely see a large group of people going for it, especially those of you that are into really cute keyboards. But yeah, again, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you next time, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.